Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be making my UFC picks for Fight Night Walker versus Zhang in China, meaning Minyang is gonna get his home court advantage. You know, it's a good give and take when they do these fight nights in China. You know, they're just pretty early, so you gotta kind of stay up a little bit. I am American, if it wasn't obvious. Fight night, I'll rate it like a 6.5 out of 10. Decent fight card. A lot of Chinese prospects. Good matchups as well. Ortega versus Sterling. There's Loner Kavanaugh, Charles Johnson, Joe Pereira. A decent fight card. Not amazing, especially after pay-per-views. Pay-per-views all get all the good matchups. So for this fight night to have like decent matchups, it's pretty good. Let's start off at the very bottom. Satibayev versus Nurgazai at light heavyweight. To start off my picks, to start off by saying Satibayev, I mean both of these guys recently made their debuts in the UFC. Both lost their debuts. But Satibayev, he debuted at heavyweight against Martin Buday. You know that Martin Buday, the one that got cut after a winning streak. He only lost to Shamil Bagaziev. I don't understand the UFC sometimes when they do these type of things, but whatever. Satibayev lost a close decision. He didn't look too bad. He had a decent boxing in that fight. He did a rock Bidet in I think the second round, the third. But I'm guessing Satibayev is a little bit too small for a heavyweight, so that's why he's right now at light heavyweight. And Martin Bidet, with his man boobs, could absorb like Ngannou probably. And then Nurgazai, who fought Brenton Ribeiro, and obviously lost. He got finished in that fight. I think he got dropped in the second and got submitted. So it's more. Well, how do I put this? Even worse loss because he got finished. Also, the Bev is in a totally bad loss. Whereas have you seen his fights? He has a face touching tick, which is kind of interesting. He has a little plotty, kind of slow on the feet, especially for light heavyweight, he's kind of slow. But overall, his striking is pretty good. He has a really nasty head kick KO in the Dana White Contender Series. You should rewatch it. It's pretty good. It's pretty nasty. So he himself. They're both competent, I guess, in the grappling. I would assume they're both from that area of the world. But I would say they're probably gonna strike, and I'm gonna lean towards Altibayev to get the second round KO. He does leave his chin up. They both leave they're pretty chinnable, but I'm gonna lean towards Satibayev. Bantamweight Long versus Yu. China versus Korea. They're both really good grapplers, that's for sure. Most likely their grappling is gonna cancel out. But when it comes to the striking, then one's obviously better than the other. As in Long, he has decent inside boxing when he gets in range. But when he's going into range, he kind of leaves his chin up in there, and his striking is kind of reckless. It's not too clean. And from what I've seen, he's a decent striker. Better footwork, better timing, better speed. He has slightly less reach, but I would say if their grappling is gonna cancel out, Yu is the better striker. So I'm gonna go with Yu. Unanimous decision. I don't see him chinning a Chinese fighter. They have decent chins. Yeza versus Wilson. They're both very below average. They've been losing a couple of their fights. I think they're both coming off wins, or only Wilson. I don't know. Funny enough, Wilson, his second last fight, he fought John Silva. John Silva, and he got chinned. And then he went on to fight the dude that got chinned himself by Anshul Jubilee and submitted the dude. So it's kind of the difference in opponents. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, you can't really tell how good Wilson is. Getting destroyed like that and then beating a very, 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 very beatable opponent. So, but I think he's very cheeks himself. So I'm gonna lean towards Yeza because stylistically, there's not much to say. The ones have been getting chinned, the other one hasn't. Yeza hasn't been getting chinned, and it's in China, so he's gonna have an easier time to prepare for this fight. But yes, I'm gonna lean towards Yeza. Give me decision. I don't know. Decision win for Yeza. Yeza I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, right? Middleweight, Michel Pereira versus Kyle Dawkins. We got Michel Pereira post Anthony Hernandez, still trying to. I mean, if you could look back before he was fighting Anthony Hernandez, he was looking very good, very nice footwork, very bouncy, very light on his feet. Decent jab, nasty body kick. He dropped Olszewski with it, and very nice jab, very good timing. And Kyle Dawkins, he had a somewhat of a run in the UFC, got cut, went on a winning streak, and then got re-signed, and this is his first fight back. But I think if Michel Pereira can, we all know what happened in the Anthony Hernandez fight. He got mentally destroyed, got taken to deep waters, and if you look at his fight after that one with Abus, he was very flat-footed, shell of his former self. He barely struck. He was very scared of gassing out. Obviously, that was pretty obvious. But I don't think he would be. I don't think in this fight he's gonna be scared of gassing out in front of Dawkins. I think Dawkins is gonna be his striking is okay. He does have pretty slick switch stance combinations. Okay grappling. So I don't think he's gonna pose too much of a threat. Where Michel Pereira is gonna be comfortable in there for sure. And because he's gonna be comfortable, he's gonna go back to his old self and grow into this fight, and put the I can feel like a second round KO for Michel Pereira if he goes back to his old self. This is not a bad matchup for him. Easy layup, if we're gonna be honest. So I got Michel Pereira second round KO. I don't know, body kick maybe. That's when he. Anyways, lightweight Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. Rong Zhu is the dude who fought Austin's. What was his name? Cody Steele, right? At the DDP versus Strickland 2. Very fun fight. Rong Zhu was looking. I'm gonna be honest. They're not amazing. Like they weren't. It wasn't the highest skilled fight, but it was a good fight. He had a pretty good left hook, right hook. Decent boxing, decent combinations. He has we obviously now know he has a chin. But he kind of also, after he finishes striking, he kind of takes a picture or admires his artwork, where he after a combination he just stays still. But Austin Herbert is very slow. He's slow in general. He has slow footwork, slow reaction time, slow speed, slow striking, whatever. So he's obviously not gonna take advantage of that. So and Rong Zhu has he has decent power. So I can see Rong Zhu just being the faster dude in there, the more skillful guy, and dropping Hubbard probably in the third round after 2 rounds of just beating up Hubbard, dropping Hubbard with a left hook in the third round. So that's what I got for Rong Zhu. Alright, flyweight fight, Charles Johnson versus Loner Kavanaugh, the vet that has KO'd what's his name, Joshua Van, the number 1 contender right now, and Loner Kavanaugh, the prospect, the undefeated prospect, where he's building his way up into the UFC. Loner Kavanaugh is really good. His striking is very good. He has very good kicks, good striking, pretty good wrestling, very good distance management. He understands that distance really well, especially when he steps back against kicks, how Izzy does it. Charles Johnson himself he's a decent striker, decent kickboxer. He is pretty big for flyweight, which helps him a lot. Very good grappling. He has one of the best takedown defense at flyweight. But the way Loner Kavanaugh looked in his last fight, just to preface, his last opponent is nowhere near Charles Johnson's skill. And the way Loner had to win is he was kind of getting beat up in the first round. He got cut open, and so he relied on the wrestling. And Johnson can if he's looking at that fight, he's gonna be like, oh, I can negate his wrestling easily, and then just keep it on the feet. Use my size, use my vet experience in the cage. And I see Johnson winning this by decision after 3 rounds. It was basically, being the better guy that night. I do think Loner is very good. he does has a couple holes in his game, and I think Johnson is gonna be able to exploit them for this fight. Loner Kavanaugh is gonna obviously still have so much time to keep on evolving. So this is just a lesson learned type of fight for Kavanaugh. So I got Johnson winning for Saturday. Lightweight fight between Maheshater versus Young. I'll be honest, I really didn't care about looking these guys. I kind of quit right here. I'm just gonna get Maheshater because he's big and is in China. So yeah. Welterweight fight between Naraji versus Crosby. Naraji, have you seen his record in the regional scene? He has a bunch of KOs. Crosby he's like what's it called, a journeyman in the UFC. He's old and has been losing his own. I think he only has like 2 fights in the UFC and he lost both of them. So I can see Naraji, even though from what I seen in his last fight in the what was it called, Journey to the UFC, or I forgot what it's called. Anyways, that he had a pretty good KO. I can see him doing the exact same thing towards Crosby. Another low level fighter. I can see him just chinning Crosby. So I got Naraji first round KO. Alright, flyweight fight between Sumardarji. Bro, what are these names? They all got some weird names. They don't really sound Chinese at all. I don't know, maybe like Mongolian or whatever. Flyweight fight between Sumardarji versus Borjas. There's not much to say about Sumardarji. He's a pretty mid, if not slightly below mid. He's southpaw. The best tool he has is like a left cross. He kind of stings a good amount with that strike. And Borjas is, I would say, he's more well-rounded, more tools in his tool bag. I can see him getting this done after 3 rounds. I don't know. Is he gonna chin Sumardarji? Who knows? I'm gonna guess it's like a boring fight. 3 rounds of whatever, nothing happening, and Borjas gets it done by decision. Alright, heavyweight fight between Sergey Pavlovich and Waldo Cortez Acosta. Let's just get it out of the way. Pavlovich is still that guy. His boogeyman status kind of went away after he got destroyed by Aspinall. If you look at that fight, Aspinall, Pavlovich was the first one to land the first hit KO punch, but somehow Aspinall tanked it. That dude's literally Superman. I don't know how Aspinall exists. I don't know. If that was Cortez taking that punch, Cortez would be going to sleep. Anyways, he lost to the champ. He's champ now. And he has a great resume, Aspinall, and the UFC. And then he lost to Volkov. Volkov should have been gone. So he lost to the champ and he lost to the title contender. So that's not 2 bad losses to have, especially where the second one was a close decision. Kind of close decision. Anyways, and then he had a very boring performance with Rosenstrike. So that didn't really help his case of him losing the mystiqueness. But I think he's still pretty good. He has a very good jab. He has power, of course. He is kind of plotty, but this is heavyweight. And it's been 2 years since he fought Aspinall, so he has time to recover. It's I don't think Cortez is gonna have the same power as Aspinall. And Cortez, he has very good striking, very quick hands. Obviously, he used to play in baseball, right? He kind of even throws his punches like a baseball player, where he kind of swings it like that. Very very nice slip back throughout his fight. I don't know if you've seen his slip back; they're pretty nice. His wrestling is questionable. We've only seen him really out grapple Robeles, and we all know Robeles has 0 grappling. So, there's not much to say. It's not. It's you can't even. I don't know if you can even give Cortez that win. Holding down Robeles. Very good at boxing, but who knows if he drop Pavlovich? Can he out? I think if this is gonna go into the later rounds, Cortez has it. He can outstrike Pavlovich. He's gonna have the bigger gas tank. I would assume. Pavlovich, draw his fight. Power punchers lose their power throughout the fight. but I'm gonna bank on Pavlovich getting this done. First round KO. Cortez leaves himself pretty open because, like I said, he throws the like a punch like a baseball. That's exactly what he does. He drops his hands a lot and leaves his chin up open. So I'm guessing that's just by his what's it called? Something he hasn't unlearned trying getting into MMA. Like he hasn't unlearned that type of throwing. So and I'm guessing Pavlovich is gonna like use that and KO Cortez in their fight. So I got first round Pavlovich. Yeah. Featherweight fight, the fight of the night. This is Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Ortega, he has a lot of submissions, but it's all the same submission. It's guillotine. I would say he's a decent striker, decent kickboxer. He hasn't really been KOing guys. He's more like rocking them. So he doesn't have KO power. He has a good wins, but let's be honest, Aljamain, it was champ for a reason. Okay, let's be honest. I mean, aside the fact that how he became champ, he had two fights with Peter Yan. So he fought the better striker. He fought, who else did he fight? Sean O'Malley. He got chinned in that fight. He beat Henry Cejudo and who else? Why am I getting blinks on who else he fought? Anyways, he fought Mosbar. He took down Mosbar. Oh, Mosbar, right? He took down Mosbar. That's like a very big task to do. Like that's a big achievement for Aljamain. And the way he shoots down is not. I don't think Ortega can get a guillotine on that. He shoots pretty low, or Sterling, and so shoots pretty low. He's gonna get Ortega down pretty quick if he goes for the grabbing, which is gonna be if it's not an if but when, and most likely he's gonna do it like within the first 10 seconds of their fight. But anyways, in the striking, I would have leaned towards Ortega. He has slightly more oomph. Sterling isn't really much of a power puncher. He has really good striking. He has very slick striking, Sterling. But he himself isn't like a KO artist. He's it's more. They're both kind of point strikers, but one's slightly bigger than the other. So, I was leaning towards Ortega. Even though Ortega got beat up by Max and Volk, I would assume Sterling also gets beat up by Max and Volk on the feet. So I'm gonna lean towards Sterling getting this done by. Can he summon Ortega? Maybe. We really haven't seen Ortega on the ground. Aside from him jumping guillotines and tripping his opponents against the cage. But from that, we really haven't seen him get tested, especially by Sterling. He's like one of the guys of grappling in the UFC right now. So yeah, I'm gonna say Sterling ragdolls Ortega the first round, and then submits Ortega in the second round. Yeah. So, and now for the main event. Johnny Walker versus Minyang Zhang, or Zhang Minyang. In Chinese, I know the first name goes to the last, right? Anyways. Okay, well, it's gonna be quick. I'm gonna say this. One has a chin and one doesn't. That is a very bad thing for you going into a fight where you have no chin. Especially where one has power and one has been getting first round KOs. And then if you're Johnny Walker really isn't a grappler, and he hasn't really been getting finishes. Like if you look at his finishes, it's usually when his opponent shoots down on him and he just gets hammer fist KOs. Like he did that with Ryan Spann. He did that with who else did he do that to? He did that to I forgot who else, but he did the exact same thing. He's been doing that like he has 3 KOs by that fashion. Funny enough. I think the last amazing KO he had on the feet was against Khalil, which is a really nice aging win from Johnny Walker. But that was a long time ago, so it's not really. I don't know if you can really give it to Johnny Walker. But anyways, Minyang on a tear. It is a step up him fighting Walker, but this isn't the Walker that was been talked about being a John Jones. A nightmare matchup. This is the Johnny Walker of 2025. So it is a step up, but only step up in name and in ranking. We're gonna be honest. There's and once they started again, closing that gap, and they're gonna start striking. One's gonna walk out of there who has the chin, and one who doesn't have the chin is not gonna walk out of there. So obviously I'm gonna lean towards Minyang getting this done, keeping the first round KO streak alive, finishing Walker first round. I can see him dropping him with like his signature elbow very easily. So I got Minyang first round. And yeah, those are all my picks for UFC Fight Night, Walker versus Zhang. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'm pretty sure all these picks are right, especially my underdog pick of Charles Johnson. I don't know. Maybe Loner gets it done. But anyways, those are all my picks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and goodbye.